Hello beautiful people, my name is Zanele. If you're coming across this video for the first time, thank you so much. Please keep watching and invite others to come and watch once you are done watching it. And keep coming back again because there will be more videos coming. Thank you. In this video I would like to talk about Nomia Rosemary Clove. Skebenga, stop. Hey, breaking news. Rosemary Nomia Ndlovu appearing at what is that? Pamridge Court. Hey, you know, that very woman is the one that I'm going to talk about. I know I'm laughing, but it is not a laughing matter. And I did watch Rosemary's hit list, which is on Showmax, and guys, it's not a laughing matter. As much as in Sesotho we say we laugh when somebody has died, but actually it's not a laughing matter, and it leaves you thinking that there is a woman that can kill so many people that are all related to her, and then it leaves you asking yourself, how many Nomia Ndlovus are out there? How many Rosemarys are out there? It cannot have been that Nomia Rosemary Ndlovu is one out of 65 million. So this tells us that some of the people and some of the deaths that we are having within the families are man-made by our very own. As the police that investigated her case diligently so, or as Sergeant Kesi Mabunda, that man, to this day I would like to say he does deserve a bells. Give that man a bells. That man deserves highest honor because he diligently did a thorough work on that case. And to think that he actually volunteered, it makes you feel like, yeah, there are people who are passionate about their work. There are people that had made an oath and meant it, that I'll do this, I'll serve and protect, and he meant that he will serve and protect, and we are thankful to him and many others who are like him in our country, the country that we do know is very problematic right now. I've seen there is this saying that's going around these days that there is no country in the world that is stressing God like South Africa. I would like to believe that it is true. We are really stressing him a lot. There are too many things that are happening at once. And then there are Tabo Besters on the other side. And now you are like, this is too much. Now, coming back to Nomia Rosemary Ndlovu. She is a lady in her 40s. She comes originally from Bushbuck Ridge. According to the Rosemary hit list, it seems her childhood was fine, according to her, unless there is something that maybe she is hiding, she is not free to talk about, because we do know that for many people there are a lot of childhood pains and childhood traumas that they are carrying that they still don't want to let anyone in to them. So we don't know, maybe she does carry some childhood trauma, because it's difficult to understand how come a single person can be this cruel and brutal to her own. What happened within that family that may have drove her to do all these things, we don't know. But according to the information gathered in that documentary, is that she says she had a good childhood, and then she met a guy when she was, I think, I'll assume it was before she was 18, and then because it sounds like she got married because she was pregnant to that guy. The guy that she met, his name was Khoza. It seems when you listen to the story, that's where the trouble started, because after a while into that marriage, remember they had a child, because already by the time they got married, she was pregnant. They had a son in that marriage that grew up, and Nomia after a while decided to take to Joburg, and that's when she ended up being a policewoman here in Joburg. The strange thing is that she is said not to have allowed Khoza to come visit her, but she'll be the one that's going home when she was off. But it sounds like she ended up not being regular at going home to her husband and child, and at some time it sounds like the husband got ill and was in hospital, and it sounds like she was leaving from Joburg to Bushbuck Ridge, just go and see the husband there and go back without seeing any other person. She would just return there at the hospital, and it sounds like at one time when she was there, she took her phone, she took his phone while he was sick like that, and the following day he died. Now you start wondering, did she know that Khoza was not gonna need a phone anymore? Why did she take that phone on that particular day, and it so happened that Khoza the following day died? After a while, you hear that she did come back to take the child, and by the time she comes and take the child, it sounds like the child is now over 12 years. Maybe he was 13 years, because he died when he was 13. And even though it's not clear how long had she taken him from Bushbuck Ridge, from his father's side of the family, but shortly after her taking him, the child fell ill, and it sounded like he was poisoned. And actually it's like there was a case, but the docket disappeared. It disappeared when when Sergeant Mabunda went to check. There was no docket, but it sounds like when you listen that there was a time when there was a docket, but no one ordered for the autopsy. So the autopsy was not done, but what was done was the toxicology. So the toxicology report didn't show anything, but we do know that there are those poisons that do not show on the toxicology report, but they do not damage, because even the doctor's letter, no, the doctor's certificate, the doctor had written unnatural death. So the child, whose name is Jonty, his death certificate was written unnatural causes. So it was clear that the conditions in which he had died were not natural. And after then, it sounds like she found love again, and she found a guy called Maurice Mabasa. So I'm not sure whether it was when she was still in a relationship with Maurice Mabasa, when she went back to home, Bushbuck Ridge, and she met her cousin brother. And after that cousin brother, she met her own sister, her very own sister. And after that own sister, she met their boyfriend. And by the time she met Maurice Mabasa, who was the boyfriend, who was dealt a lot in court, because I remember that in court, while she was in court in 2021, the most person that was spoken about was Maurice Mabasa. Maybe probably because she had killed him in the worst gruesome way. He had 76 stab wounds on his body. 76. That was an overkill, because when the prosecutor tells you about that, he says 2 or 3 of those stab wounds would have killed him anyway, but 76, it was an overkill. So Maurice was the 3rd person. After Maurice, she killed another nephew after that, and then she killed a niece, and then she also killed her daughter, and she also killed the sister that she killed second. Remember, she killed a cousin brother. I think it was it witness Homu? I think so. And then it was Audrey. Her sister was Audrey. So the son of Audrey started questioning a lot about the insurance monies and so on. I think he decided that this one is gonna be trouble. Let me deal with him as soon as possible. And then, I won't get into details because the story is very, very long. Then she killed that son. So actually, if you count correctly in the documentary, you find that there could be a total of 9 known victims of hers, because the first husband, even though like at the time there was no suspicion whatsoever, but the mere fact that she went there and took a phone, and the following day all of a sudden the man is no longer alive, that tells you that she knew that he was not going to need a phone anymore. So, and with this pattern, that itself is a telltale sign that that could have been her first, very, very first victim, together with the fact that you are told that she no longer allowed that man to come and visit her here in Joburg. She was the one that was going, and she was no longer now going regularly back home. Clearly she didn't want that husband anymore. So what could she have done? So it is possible that her Khoza could have been her very own victim, or first known victim, and then it was Jonty, the son. After Jonty, it was the cousin brother, witness. After the cousin brother, it was Audrey, the sister, her biological sister, her older sister, and then it was her lover, Maurice Mabasa, and then it was who's this guy? Why am I forgetting another guy? But it was his nephew, and then it was also a niece, Zanele, and it was her son, her daughter, Makhanani. So I'm counting what? Wait. Oh, there's also the daughter of Audrey, or the son of Audrey. Sorry, there's also the son of Audrey, which is the 9th person, who is not witness. It was Brilliant Mashego. Brilliant Mashego was Audrey's son, and he was killed because he was asking too many questions about the insurances. He had heard about the insurance claims that Auntie Rosemary had received, but they never saw it. And the way Rosemary is heartless, when you listen to all the families that are talking, I hear that she was also stingy, and out of her stinginess she would give about 200. It sounds like of all those deaths, the most that she may have contributed, maybe it was her son, her daughter, her live-in lover. That's what it sounds like. And the way this woman was like, guys, it's so bad to think that actually the reason why she killed her son, her very first son, was because Khoza, the husband, had left